You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Trick or treat, Lone Star Radio listeners. This is Dick, the general manager, taking this quick moment to remind you that Lone Star Community Radio is looking to fill some of our talk show slots along with some of our DJ slots. We have a new show airing on the 10th, Making Connections with Stacey Harris, which will air every second Tuesday of the month at 1 p.m. Make sure to check it out along with our other programs on Lone Star Community Radio. For more information on Lone Star Community Radio, visit us online at irlonestar.com. And again, if you're interested in doing something with us, call the station, 936-647-3776. Thanks for checking out this recording, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub. Connor and Dick here in studio in downtown Conroe.
Woo!
Yeah, baby. Excited to talk movies today,
I'm
Dick.
just trying to keep warm.
It's
Gotta keep shouting.
It is cold in here. What have we done?
I think it's the perfect storm happened with the AC.
It just ran nonstop for like 6 hours.
Well, these huge windows here in the studio. We are broadcasting live. Welcome to the Ticket Stub.
Yeah.
Downtown Conroe, and we have these two huge windows. And with the sun not really showing up today, a lot of the cold is trapped in here. Usually it gets sucked out by the sun around this time.
Well, not today.
Not today.
I'm standing today so I can do some air squats every now and then.
I knew all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's corny liners in Batman and Robin, and we could just make cold jokes all day today.
Oh, okay. That is that Batman Forever, whichever that Batman was that had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. He's chill out. Like every line he had was that. That should be a bad movie we do for a bad movie of the month. Sometimes
the whole series should be part of it. I mean, can you imagine watching the whole? I mean, because you can't really incorporate Tim Burton's.
Yeah.
But I think it's when George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and pretty much those two movies.
Yeah.
Those two actors, right? Was there another one? I'm forgetting.
Well, they were different. They were different times, though, right?
No, but it was the same same production company basically made it. And
like the first one was Michael Keaton, and that was a long
Tim
time.
Burton.
Yeah, and then after that it was George Clooney was next, I think, and then Val Kilmer, and then I think they paused for a while until they came back.
Well, I
with
remember
Christian
one
Bale.
of them was twice. Didn't they make 3 total crappy ones?
Yeah, I think Clooney was twice.
Batman,
Because I think
Robin,
Clooney
Batman
was like
Forever.
Clooney was like Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin, I think maybe.
Well, Batman and Robin was the Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
and that was George Clooney.
And did that have Uma Thurman too as Poison Ivy?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one was
and Penguin
Two-Face.
was DeVito. DeVito was Penguin.
Well,
in
that's Batman Returns. That is Keaton.
No.
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm getting they're all getting mixed up in my head. These are all bad Batman movies from the past. But the one with Mr. Freeze.
Maybe there's only 2.
No, because
No, I'm talking about the bad versions.
Oh, there may have only been 2 bad ones. The Michael Keaton one wasn't bad, I didn't think.
No, yeah.
Anyways, we're totally off topic. This has nothing, but I guess it's movies. Batman, Mr. Freeze. It's cold in here. We're back. Welcome, everybody, to the Ticket Stub. Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, where you can listen all the time on irlonestar.com. Also, our podcast feed on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher. Make sure you're subscribing to that, and then every week our podcast will auto-download to your phone. You can help boost our numbers. Earlier this month, we went over 1,000 downloads. Let's turn that into 2,000 and then 10,000 and then 100,000 and then 10 million.
And then 2 million.
1 million downloads. Also, Twitter. I don't know what it means to be blowing up on Twitter, but we basically doubled our followers this week, so that's pretty exciting. So we're wanting y'all to like our _ticket stub on Twitter. We're going to start using that more and more to talk about our ticket giveaways, everything like that. Also going to try and tweet every now and then about maybe some of the movies we've been seeing in the week. Maybe do some teasers for some of the things we'll be rewinding here on the show. So make sure you're liking that, as well as our Facebook page, the Ticket Stub Podcast. And always, you can send us email to theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com. Dick, did I miss any of our things we got to talk about?
No.
Okay, that's good. All right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to rewind the movies that we've seen in the last week. We are going to talk a little bit about our grand ticket giveaway at the end of the show. we're also going to play a game. We kind of played a version of this, but we're changing it up. We're always changing it up. This is Dick's idea. He always makes fun of me for my game ideas. This was his. So it's going to be verb, noun, adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, verb, noun, adjective.
Yeah.
Teasing it, or V and A. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But it's going to be a game y'all can play along with us. I think it's always fun when you guys join in. Let us know, what y'all came up with or what y'all did. Also, Dick, my movie pass came in.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny because last week on the show, I was complaining. And
Maybe they listened.
Yeah, I think that the movie pass is listeners. They were listening to our show on Thursday. And then when I got home Thursday afternoon, when the mail came, my movie pass was finally in the mail. It only took about 3.5 to 4 weeks to come in, but I've already used it once. So the first month is paid for itself. Used it on one of the movies I'm going to rewind later on in the show. Excited about the movie pass. Like, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit nervous when I was trying to use it for the first time because the person, when I went to the theater, I used it at the Star Cinema. And when I went to them at the theater, the girl like didn't really know what I was doing. Like, she hadn't, I guess, used it yet, didn't know what it was. And so I was trying to kind of like explain to her what it was. And then I felt like I was lying for some reason, even though I wasn't lying. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What if this isn't, what if it doesn't work? What if it's not good? And then I started thinking like, what if this is an actual credit card and I'm going to get a bill for this and I'm paying $10. I don't even know what. So anyways, a lot of emotions, but it ended up working. Everything is great. Got a movie for free based on my Movie Pass subscription. So I can now officially say that I've used it. It is easy. It is awesome. Everyone should, if you sign up today, then by mid-November, you too can be enjoying movies for a monthly fee instead of having to pay every time. And you even got, I thought you weren't able to pick your seat, but I was still able to pick my seat. Like, Star Cinema has assigned seating, and I was able to, when I got there, pick the seat I wanted to sit in. So like, there's no downside. What do you think, man? You just gonna let me talk today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, I think it's cool. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad people are getting out and seeing stuff. My conspiracy theory is this is to get people to drive.
yeah,
So you get your house, movie pass. How much is it a month?
$9.95.
Including tax and everything? Is it like,
I don't think there is tax.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's internet. I don't think, do they tax the internet?
Depends on where you are.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, also speaking of that, I heard, I was reading some stuff on Box Office Mojo, and they're saying September was like a near record-breaking month for Septembers of the past.
Oh, wow.
I think it has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's still going, man. That's
Yeah.
it's the thing that's going to hurt is hopefully next month they come out in October with all the scary movies outside of it.
Yeah.
They keep the momentum going. So,
Yeah, well,
smart move on them releasing in September.
It was almost, kind of captive. Like, people are in the mode for scary, but there's not a bunch of scary out yet. So it was kind of a good timing to do that. Dick, everything going good with you in life, man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's going well. I mean, you did make me watch Wild Wild West, which we can talk about.
Yeah, well, let's wait a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
We normally do the rewinds next segment. Yeah, we'll talk about Wild Wild West. Yeah, Dick lost our game actors list. Man, that was a slaughter, if I remember right. That could have been a blur. I could have dreamed
It was fixed from the start.
Well, I did
so-
cheat. I did invent the game and come up with all the movies and then win. So I don't know if that's really very fair. But we had Clifton Wolgamothon who helped.
You just didn't rub it in my face enough to make it. We had to call somebody to question it.
Yeah, exactly. But we had Clifton come on who helped moderate the game. Thanks for that, Clifton. And it's always good to have a third person in here when we play games like that. I think verb, noun, adjective is not going to need a third. I think we're going to be able to handle that on our own. But we're going to see that later on the show. All right, a little bit of movie news. Let's hop right into this. Dick, HollywoodReporter.com sent you the article yesterday. And what it's saying is there's a new faith-based movie coming out, which I think for a lot of people generates eye rolls, right? Every time there's a faith-based movie that comes out. This one is called Generational Sins. It's set to come out October 6th. And guess what? It's going to have 32 cuss words.
On, that's like they already filmed it. It has 32, or is it more of the guy wrote 32, and by the time that ends up to be on the screen, they're like, no, we got to cut that in half.
Well, according to Hollywood Reporter, it is coming out in like a week and a half. So I don't think they have time to cut anything out of it.
I like how that's what makes the headline.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, what makes that. So here's the IMDb plot. A dying mother, Sarah, tells her last wish to her eldest son, Drew, that he take his younger brother, Will, to the place they were born. Despite tragic family history, hope gives promise to the future. So for some reason, while Drew is taking Will to the place they were born, they cuss a lot. I don't know exactly what happens here, but it's generating a little buzz. And in the article, they were talking about how there's this new they were calling it like gritty faith films where they're gonna like be able to cuss and maybe like I don't know, but this one is it's not rated like G, or it's PG-13 actually. So they're leaving a little bit of room for some real stuff. So as a Christian, I've seen a lot of the faith-based movies that have come out, and I'm just going to be honest that I think most of them are bad. Dick, have you ever for any reason seen any of those, Facing the Giants? Or...
I think I saw Left Behind with Kirk Cameron, but I think that I saw like 20 minutes of it.
It was probably not good, right?
It was just... It really wasn't a tight movie, so it's like everything seemed like Kirk was clearly an actor, but everyone else in it didn't really know what was going on, and unfortunately, it takes a good, solid team to put everything together to make it like. When I say tight, I mean it felt like a good movie and it kept going.
And it's probably a lot of that's because of budget. Like they don't have the money to pay people who are professionals, or so they kind of get their friends or whoever else they can find.
Well, it's almost you can tell in certain movies like this one where time was definitely the factor. They were trying to get through it.
Filming?
Yeah, they were trying to get through it and stuff like that. But they made a couple of them. But overall, I saw Passion of the Christ. Was that considered a faith-based film?
Yeah, but I think that's maybe in a little different league because that had like studio. That had like a real studio behind it. And I don't know. I guess when I'm talking about this, a lot of what I've seen are these ones that are made by like either churches or ministries or whatever, and it's modern times, and it's like someone who encounters a struggle, but then finds...
It's all Saved.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
Oh, okay.
Well, would you call that a faith-based movie?
Yeah, I mean the central plot is the school, and it's faith-based, and everyone kind of has a self-discovery in the show. So for better or worse.
I haven't seen that in a while. That was like one of those is that early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mandy Moore maybe or something? Yeah. Okay. Well, I think my biggest problem with a lot of the faith-based movies that have come out, because there's kind of been like a rush on that.
No, I agree. And what's your problem?
My problem is that I feel like it's 100% pandering. Like,
for sure.
Like they have a Christian person who encounters hardship, and it's always like the villain is always like the most one-dimensional character you can imagine. Like they just hate everything and God and everything good, and so then it's like, well, now I have to overcome.
Well, it's almost like they make these movies for the parents to be. It's okay to go see those movies, kids. So watch these movies.
Yeah,
because when you're growing up, your parents usually shows you what they wanted to show you, but when you hit the 14 years and you want to see the rated R's, and you're right there. Pretty much all those faith-based movies aren't challenging the viewer.
They're so it's not real life. And I think that what they're trying to do, they're going to cuss in this one. I think they're trying to maybe bring it to be a little bit more down to earth, because in the real world there are people who use bad language, and so when it's totally void. And I get that, like when you have little kids, you don't want to expose them to that. But if you want something that's going to be relevant, like to adults, who are going to maybe wrestle with bigger issues in life, not that it has to be the Wolf of Wall Street, but it should at least reflect the reality of society. Like I love it when like kids like movies that are for kids, and they go to like a high school party, and everyone's like dancing and drinking Coke, and it's like, all right, well that's just not reality, Well,
especially with scenes, especially with faith-based movies where certain parts of the faith are ceremonial or something like that, and how do you do that in a film to make it available to the audience who's not of that faith? So like one of the biggest things I've learned through the Jewish community is if you watch any Jewish movie, it's really interesting to see how they show the different ceremonies they do, and like especially in these like the faith-based movies, one thing I love is they show the praying.
Yeah.
And the prayer scenes are always awkward for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it's almost like you have to stand up and when you put your hand over your heart for the national anthem, like everyone kind of. I did it yesterday. I played the anthem on one of the shows, and two people in the studio stood up.
Did anyone kneel?
No, but I'm just saying, like when people see praying on the screen, there might be like, oh, I have to pray too, or something like that.
It's like kind of an intimate, private thing, and now you're like watching it on a
it's like, oh, you got to complete the sentence,
Yeah.
almost thing, and especially when you're doing certain type of ceremonies and things like that. Like, I mean, I imagine there's some religion out there where you're supposed to always say the saying if it's ever said. And can you imagine going to a theater and everyone's just
Like repeating it,
repeating it throughout the whole
Hail
film?
Mary, Hail Mary, full of grace.
Yes, but I mean those scenes. It's the things I don't like about the faith-based movies. Besides Passion of the Christ, they don't really challenge people's faith.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And I don't think they're really meant to. I think they're meant to reinforce what you already believe. Where I think that.
Well, I think they're creating entertainment for that base where they can be okay to show that entertainment at the church, or something like that.
And it's almost a zero gravity environment where it's like there is no way you could watch this movie and come away with any thought other than exactly what we wanted you to believe. And I don't like that. I don't like when there's like no dissenting opinion whatsoever, like no room for anybody to be challenged. No room for any struggle, any difficulty. It's like, here's a problem. Here's the very obvious bad guy. Here's the exact solution, and everything is perfect and pretty. Like,
well, I think that's the problem though with organized faith, because they do want to control that outcome for everybody. It's almost like they have the PR team saying, "This is how we got to do it. This is how we have to shape the issue," even though we're controlling all the catalysts on the way. We're controlling every little part, but we got to make it look like we're not.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, they suck anyway. Who cares?
Well, I would say that when religion is doing things right, and I would say any religion here, it's when they're challenging their people to think and discover things for themselves, not just hand them things that then it's like, here, believe this. We'll see Generational Sins, October 6th. A lot of people probably won't see it. I'll probably try to go see it just to kind of know what's going on in the community of faith movies.
The
and also,
article you gave me says May feature. So totally, I'm telling you, it's on the cutting room.
oh, you think it's going to drop?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if it's coming out in like
There's always going to be that one person where it's like, hey, we got to do this. And
so just total clickbait buzz here. And the article was the most clickbaity because it was like, faith-based feature may feature F-bombs. And then like the article doesn't talk at all about F-bombs.
We're growing up.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, Generational Sins, faith-based movie coming out October 6th. We'll see if they cuss in it. It'll be interesting. It's something to at least talk about. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to rewind the movies we've seen for the last week. And later on the show, we're going to be playing Verb, Noun, Adjective. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, president of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Hey guys, I'm Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
We are Nerd Thug Radio. Catch us every Monday from 1 to 3 and check out our website, nerdthugradio.com.
We like to talk about quilting, horseback riding, and baking quiche.
Actually, we don't, but we do like talking nerdy to you.
That's right. Every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m., hashtag talking nerdy to you.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Let's begin now.
And we're back on the Ticket Stub. Connor and Dick here in studio downtown Conroe. Remember our Twitter, _Ticket Stub. I don't know what Dick's doing over there.
Just messing with you.
Yeah, always. You're kind of like this. Like in your other life, would you rather be like a sound effects guy? Like that. What's that cop movie where the one dude makes all the sound effects?
Police Academy.
Police Academy. Yeah.
No, I'm just having fun, man.
Just
Relax.
having a-
just trying to throw you off your game.
Well, you always do, so don't worry about it. Having a good time here. Remember, Twitter, _Ticket Stub. Like us or become a follower of us, and I promise it will change your life. Actually, I don't promise that, but you'll at least have a good opportunity to win some tickets to the Grand Theater here in Conroe. Now we're going to rewind the movies we've seen for the last week. I've seen 2. Dick has seen 2.
Woo!
Dick, why don't we take turns? You go first.
All right. Well, I lost the game. I saw Wild Wild West.
Wiki wild.
And I will say I greatly enjoyed the movie, and it was made in 1999. It's an hour and 46 minutes. You can watch it on Netflix if you really want to watch it. Will Smith and Kevin Kline are the famous duo of James West and Artemis Gordon, and the bad guy is Kenneth Branagh. I doubt I pronounced that correctly.
Probably Kenneth, probably not Kenneth.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that one out there.
The movie itself used to be a TV show, and they definitely had some moments that you could tell, oh, this is a tribute to the TV show. Like the opening credits were really cool. And the only thing I would say this movie really misses on, and I don't, and this is, you can correct me if you have seen the TV show, but racism and basically misogyny play an undertone, like they use those things in the movie to keep the story going. So, for example, if we have a scene where I'm supposed to speak to you, but we need filler that doesn't drive the plot, they fill it in with something racial or something.
So, like a racial joke was like the go-to.
It was pretty much like the tape that held it together, and mainly because Will Smith plays he plays, I don't know, he plays the sheriff kind of character, guns blazing, ask questions later. He plays that, and it's during the time when Ulysses S. Grant is the president. So that gives you the time period. It's like right there. I mean, this is where racism like just kind of going the other way. And
how does this movie like hold up especially like in the last couple months with where our country's at right now? Like, does this movie age very poorly?
No, because it's all in humor. It's all done in humor, and the way they balance it out really well. Like, there's a really funny scene where Will Smith meets the bad guy in person. They're face to face, but not really, because the main bad guy, Dr. Arliss, is legless. Yeah, and so they use a lot of puns about him being black and him being disabled. And so it's like, hey, I like to stand up to the occasion, and like really, I mean, they go back, and that was kind of funny. Yeah, but then they kept doing it, and then it kept
too much.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's one of those things that you can be a creative writer and get it in there to have some fun with it, but the whole movie would feature that, especially with Salma Hayek. She was the woman. She was stupid. You know, women don't do that. I mean, like, it was constantly that when she was on there. And overall, though, the movie plot was interesting. The guy basically got portrayed, the bad guy, as I think he's a Southern general or Southern person in the Army. That's why he lost his legs. And somehow, through technology, steampunk, he came back, and he is going to take over the country, take the country back. And
I had two friends that listened to the show last week, and they were both like, how did you not know what steampunk was before last week? Like, I don't know, because I'm not weird.
Well, I mean, the world of steampunk, because that's one thing that I don't know, are you claiming that this what gave birth to steampunk?
No.
Okay, because like Kevin Kline's character, he plays the doctor, and who basically has all the gadgets. For example, the opening scene, the contrast between Will Smith and him. Will Smith likes to ride the good old-fashioned horse, and Kevin Kline rides a bicycle with a jet on it. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, oh, it's like, you know, this is 1800s. Why is this? But they play on that all the time.
I remember it kind of being fun in this movie. Like, it was the first time I'd really seen the Wild West with all the technology, and I thought it was cool. It got a little bit ridiculous, but
yeah, well, that's the one thing. Another issue I had with the movie is it didn't really just kind of come out and say, we're just joking around. This is a kind of a farce of a movie. Like, for example, there's a scene where they get these magnets attached to their heads, and the technology displayed is basically this machine shoots these discs, and it chases the person with the collar on.
I remember that, yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I'm not a physicist, but I'm pretty sure when you shoot something out of a magnet, it will stay as close as it can, but then when the trajectory gets lost, it's not coming back. Well, they literally had these discs go up in the air, do a full 180, flying back down and going through the cornfields. And to me, it's like, all right, if you're going to have fun with some pseudoscience, like, try to keep it in some barrier. But this movie just goes, forget it. Somehow these are homing missiles, and they're going to follow them throughout the whole cornfield no matter what they do.
So it's like, I'll stick with you in the ridiculous thing, but try to at least be kind of reality. Even if it's, like, I think when a movie sets up, like, some parameters, it has to at least stay within its own parameters.
Well, they needed Nick, is what they needed, because, like, to kind of explain to you how they got out of that scenario.
Like a Nick Howard.
Yeah, so they jump at each other, and so the two blades come in contact with one another. but
Why does that
it
kill
explodes.
Oh, the metal.
Like full up explodes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a second, why are they exploding here? And so, I mean, that kind of thing, like, because it is pretty wild. There's a giant spider at the end.
Wiki wild.
And yes, but they kind of explain a little bit about they use the steam, they use coal, which, I mean, it's somewhat believable in the sense of creating the movie.
Yeah.
But some things they did were just so wild. And
So wild.
yeah.
So
But,
wild. Like, the movie is not misnamed.
Yeah. No, not at all.
It is the Wild Wild West. All right, well, we got to move. Okay, so Wild West, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, I would totally just throw it on and just
put it
laugh
on.
at it.
Just love it. It's a good way to, like, spend some mindless fun action movie. All right, well, I saw Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle, rated R, in theaters now, directed by Matthew Vaughn, who did Kingsman 1 and X-Men 2 and Kick Butt, starring all the people we talked about last week when we played Actors List. So IMDb says when their headquarters are destroyed and the world is held hostage, the Kingsman journey leads them to discovery of an allied spy organization in the U.S. These two elite organizations must band together to defeat a common enemy. I went in thinking this would be not as good as the first, but hopefully fun. And as always, I was right. It was pretty much just a worse version of the first one. I think this fell into what a lot of sequels fall into, which is where the first one is really, really good. And then the second one, they're sitting around like, well, we have to make a sequel because it was so successful. But like, what do we do now?
We have to get it out in a year.
Yeah, but what do we do? Like, what's the plot gonna be? And so what sequels usually do is they think, well, we have to go bigger now, right? I mean, the first one he was trying to kill the whole world. Well, now we have to go even bigger. So now everyone's gonna have to die, and it seems like everything's hopeless. So they end up finding this U.S., which is basically like the U.S. Kingsmen, but they're like whiskey distillers. It was like, so they were in Kentucky. It was like so stereotypical, and they all had whips. And, in the Kingsmen, all their names were like Galahad and Lancelot and all these Knights of the Round Table. Well, in the U.S. version, they're all names of liquor, like tequila and whiskey and, champagne, which I thought was lame. I thought Channing Tatum, in my mind, I really like him, but the more I've thought about it, he's not very good.
I told you that.
Yeah, he's bad. I was wrong. Okay, so I'm always right except for I was wrong. But Kingsman 2, almost the exact same plot. The world's in jeopardy. They have to figure out how to solve it, except for it brings in this U.S. version, which I think makes it worse. And so what I would say is wait to stream this at home. If you want action in the movie theater, that American Made with Tom Cruise comes out this weekend. I would say go see that instead and watch the sequel Kingsman 2 when you're at home sometime and it's on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of smelt that one coming.
Yeah.
The other movie I saw was Logan, 2017, 2 hours and 17 minutes. It is a takeoff of Old Man Logan, which is a comic book, and it takes back Wolverine, and it's kind of into the future. Overall, the movie was very enjoyable. After seeing it, I really wish whoever was in control of this project could go back in time and restart the X-Men with this kind of stuff. Mainly because the way they directed is very simple. They took the Batman Begins kind of approach, try to make it as realistic as possible, have curse words, have blood, have what Wolverine would do to people if you really encountered normal people.
Yeah, there's definitely a move to like grit and reality in these kind of movies.
Yeah, have you seen Logan?
Yeah, I have.
And that's one thing. Like the only thing I really was disappointed with the movie was you could tell they were trying to create something new, but still keep the same lore movie franchise-wise. Like Patrick Stewart's in it. He's hilarious and good, but it's just kind of like this movie didn't feel like it was part of that lore, but they tried hard to make it part of that lore, if that makes any sense. And they shouldn't have. They should have just done their own thing. Outside that, it was really cool. I love the way they told the story. Like, you didn't really know everything at the very beginning. All the yelling, I'm pretty sure there's more fighting in this movie than I've seen in a while. I got tired of it.
Really?
I actually got tired of the fighting because it was just huge, just and then the girl would yell the same style. And but one thing I didn't really get, and this is going to be the premise of the movie is the mutants are gone. There's no more new mutants. So basically, the shadow government or the government or some normal human beings are tracking down these things. So Logan is hiding with Professor X and another mutant, and basically they're hiding in Mexico. And we find Logan being a limo driver trying to save money up for a boat, it seems like. And then you kind of notice that Professor X, something's wrong with him. They have to seclude him in this water tanker thing. So they kind of describe what happened, why is he there, what condition he's in. and stuff like that. But the one thing I wish they kind of did was explain like the decisions how they got there, because that was kind of the character of Logan. Maybe I missed it, but I was like, just let him die, like just kill him. Like if he's really that big of a threat, I didn't really get that arc about that, because later something happens and you're kind of like, well, that could have all been solved. And but then the kid thing really weirded me out, because basically what the movie turns is these kids get tested on to be born into the New Mutants, and basically it's kind of similar how Wolverine was made. He was made Wolverine with the claws and stuff. But then they kind of went on this thing where, oh, there's a utopia in Canada, and they didn't really explain it.
Which is not true, by the way.
So
US of A.
Well, no, it's weird though, because you think they would try to, because we were watching the movie, like, is there really a utopia up there? And all these kids, just kids, are trying to get there. So it's just kind of like,
yeah. I remember with this one, it was good. I think I was more interested in the early part of the movie than the later part, as I recall. And I really feel like the trailer of this movie was like 3 times better than the actual. Like the trailer was so good. It had that Johnny Cash "Hurt" song, and it's ramping up while he's killing. Anyways, you liked it and didn't like it? What do you think?
I definitely, if I had to rank it out of all the X-Men movies, it's towards the top. It might be the number one, because it really handled the characters really well, and I like that. Very
character driven, a lot less idealistic than some of the other X-Men movies.
Actually, what's funny is it made me think of the other X-Men movies, and when I started thinking about them, especially like the Bryan Singer versions, I was like, man, they really just went for the comic book style of the movie. Like they had the suits and just kind of the campy style of the old X-Men, because they didn't really spend the time doing the characters. They'd say like, oh, let's make it look like X-Men, instead of what really drives why people read the comics, which was the characters.
Yeah, it was a different time,
because they didn't really show anything X-Men style. Like there wasn't the jet, there wasn't a house, there wasn't a costume, there wasn't any of that. It was like Logan wore a suit pretty much the whole movie, because he started off being the limo driver. That's where it starts. So, but yeah.
Well, cool. All right. Well, really quickly, the other one I saw this week, I went. Me and my girlfriend went. She has 2 kids. We went to see Lego Ninjago movie. All right. No, when I went into this, I had really, I wasn't really excited about seeing the movie in and of itself. It had a lot of voiceover actors that were people, Dave Franco, Justin Theroux. There was kind of a team of like Power Ranger type. Basically, the Ninjagos are like, they're kind of like the Power Rangers. They each have little like Zords that they drive around and fight evil or whatever. But Fred Armisen, Kumail Nanjiani, Michael Pena, Zach Woods, Abby Jacobson, those are the other voices of the ninjas or whatever. But basically, man, I went into this with such low expectations, but I thought this was really funny. Like, and I'm not just like, I went in like not really thinking I would be that entertained, and really thought it was funny. Justin Theroux, he was the bad guy Garmadon. Man, he was cracking, like he was legitimately making me laugh. And then Lloyd, who is Dave Franco, he was pretty funny as well. The Lego movie that came out a couple years ago, I really liked that one as well. So and this one I thought would be a worse knockoff version, but really it feels like it had the same feel to it. So if you liked the Lego movie, you'll like this. One of the funniest parts, I thought, and I'll just throw this out there and see if you think it's funny as well, but Lloyd is Garmadon's son. So Garmadon is like the evil villain who lives in the volcano, and then his son is just a guy named Lloyd, and he's trying to like be in high school, but everyone hates him because his dad attacks the city like every day. And so at one point, Lloyd finally says, like, Dad, Garmadon, you ruined my life. And Garmadon says, how could I ruin your life? I wasn't even there. And it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of jokes like that, but it's funny. If you have kids, definitely go see it. It'd probably be a little creepy to buy a single ticket for this one and go in by yourself. But if it's ever, you see it on Netflix or, something like that, great family movie, I think pretty appropriate. And so check it out.
So before we wrap up this section, do you want to say what movies we're going to check out this week?
Yeah, sure. So there's 2 movies out. So one, Mother. I didn't get a chance to see Mother this week.
Oh, you're going to love it.
I still want to see. Have you seen it?
No, but I can just tell you're going to love it. That's a faith-based movie. So
no. Well, kind of, I think, right?
Let's see.
Okay. Well, Mother, I still want to see that because it's getting a lot of buzz. Very polarizing, I think. And also Stronger with, there's a lot of movies I want to see. Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal came out last week, but it's in theaters right now, where he loses his legs in the Boston bombing. And then also that American-made Tom Cruise movie. I want to see those. I probably won't see all 3, but at least 2 of the 3 of those.
That's actually pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of movies, folks, who were released on streaming. I really want to check out Assassin's Creed. It's on HBO. The Bad Batch was released on Netflix. So that's going to be a really neat movie. And also, those are the two movies I really want to check out. So that's The Bad Batch and also Assassin's Creed. You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio with the Ticket Stub. We got to take a break, folks.
Gotta.
What are we doing when we come back?
We're playing verb, noun, adjective.
There you go. We'll be back here on the Ticket Stub.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hey, Montgomery County, it's me, C.C. Holmes. And I would personally like to take this time to invite you, that's right, you, to join me every Saturday and Sunday from 3 until 7 p.m. where I will bring you the very best of smooth jazz, classic jazz, and indeed, yes, the soulful sounds of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So come along and get jazzy with me. That's right, jazzy. Right here, of course, on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
A Lone Star Community Radio is ready for the summer. If you or anyone you know is looking for summer internship opportunities, a Lone Star Community Radio is a great place to grab the mic and be on the air. A Lone Star Community Radio offers a great opportunity to those interested in learning about the radio world all year round. Be an on-air personality, talk show producer, or YouTube, TV, podcast editor. Contact the station at info@irlonestar.com or call the station's message line at 936-647-3776.
And we're back on the Ticket Stub. We just spent our last segment doing our rewinds where we talked about the movies we've seen last week. We've already talked about Christian movies that cuss. And now we're going to play a game called Verb, Noun, Adjective, or VNA. Arguably not a great name, but also some people might say it's the best name of all time. This is a game that Dick came up with. It's a little bit similar to a game that we played before that I think we called Plot Summary back then, where we gave each other a character and a location and something else. Well, this one is where we're going to give each other a verb, a noun, and an adjective. And from that, we're going to have to create an idea for a movie.
Sounds cool.
Well, yeah, you would think it sounds cool. So, okay, let's lay a few ground rules here before we get too far. So, what we need to do is we need to come up with like some actors we think should be involved, maybe like kind of a general plot, and it all has to revolve around.
So you choose an actor?
No, do we? That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like so if you give me a verb, noun, adjective, I need to probably pick someone who I think should star in it. And
okay,
I mean, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, we're trying to kind of create a movie here, right?
Yeah, that's what my idea was. Yeah.
Well, I will say that this tested my grammar.
Yeah.
I had to do some Googling. What is an adjective?
Oh, really?
Well, I know.
Really?
I know what an adjective is because of Schoolhouse Rock, but it was like, is this an adjective or is it a noun or can it be both or what is what? So if there's any like super grammar Nazis out there, I'm pretty sure that each of my verb, nouns, and adjectives are actually verb, nouns, and adjectives. But if not, let's just go with it and play the game. What do you think?
Okay.
We're not the grammar stub here. We're the Ticket Stub. Dick, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. Well, I've got three choices here. Let's see how many we get through before we get going. So my verb, noun, adjective. I'm going to say them first, and then I'm going to talk for a little bit to buy you some time and stall, okay?
Okay.
So, verb, rain, like to rain. Noun, ventriloquist. Adjective, red. Okay? So, verb, I know rain can also be a noun. I know red can also be a noun. Okay, I Googled all this stuff, so I know. But verb, rain, like the act of rain falling. Dick, I know that you love rain.
Yeah, I think that's it's going to be a good rain movie.
I know that you love movies that involve rain. Ventriloquist, I mean... You know what? There's a marked lack of ventriloquist movies out there. Jeff Dunham needs to push to star in a non-comedy special that includes ventriloquism. And then the color red. I just think that's an adjective. It describes things are red. Nice red shirt. Nice red painting. Nice red tablecloth. That's an adjective. So I'm pretty sure I got the grammar right there. Dick, Ram ventriloquist red. And also we'll say listeners, like y'all should be playing along right now. As you're hearing this, play along. Try to come up with your own, see if yours are better than ours. They probably will be because y'all are creative, but we're doing our best here. So what do you got, man?
All right, for a movie, you want me to come up with it now, or you want me to give me yours?
Oh, why don't you give me one, and then we'll both, and then that's good. That buys us a little bit more time while the other one's talking. All right, so what's my first one?
Okay, your first one. The noun is puss.
Okay, first off, the game's called Verb, Noun,
Oh,
Adjective.
verb. Okay, verb. Discharge.
Okay, I can see where this is going.
Noun. Puss.
Okay.
Adjective. Oh, I'm reading something else. Alluring.
Alluring?
Yeah, alluring.
Discharge, puss, alluring?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You like that?
I don't like that. No, I really don't. All right. So.
It's seductive. It's powerful. Mysterious.
Yeah, there's like.
The discharging puss.
My instinct is for sure to go a different direction than what you're wanting me to do with this.
So now we got to figure out the actor. I want teenage-sized Haley Joel Osment.
Okay, you can't just just replay the past. All right.
No, I'm talking like what's it called, Lions Club or whatever with
Secondhand Lions.
Secondhand Lions, Haley Joel Osment.
So you want?
That's who I want.
So are we doing this like you're gonna say your actor? Now I've got to say my actor.
What's my actor?
Wait, what? Oh, for
my movie for Rain, Ventrilo, and Red.
No, that's what you're saying. No, you're picking for your own.
Oh yeah, then I'm definitely doing
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment Secondhand Lions.
Okay, so now I got to pick an actor for discharge, puss, alluring.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Man, discharge, puss, alluring. You know what? Oh no, that's gross. No, see, everything. Like I feel creepy. I I was gonna say Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, but now I feel like that's creepy. You know what? I'm just going with it. What's her name?
I don't know her name.
Khaleesi. Shoot, hold on. I know her name. Amelia Clark. Sorry. Me Before You. Clark.
That's her name. Would be Clark.
Yeah. Well, that's her real name, but.
Well, I mean, I bet that guy had a lot of bed sores.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. She could be a nurse. All right, so.
That's the dark version of Me Before You.
Yeah, this is the real version. This is the Logan version.
What we'll do is let's move on, but when we take the break, that's when we'll come up with our idea. So when we come back from the break, we'll say our things.
Okay.
Because I don't want to come up with it right now while we're on the air.
Okay. So then so we're gonna come back. Do you just have one or do you have another one?
That's the only one I had. Man,
okay.
You're going for it. You can give me another one? I can take it.
Well, we don't have to do another one.
I did actually have two, but yeah, I do have two. I can do two.
Okay, so we could throw one more out, take an early break, and come back and then throw our stuff out at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your other? Here's my other one. Verb wakeboard, like to wakeboard.
Let me write this down.
Not the noun, which is an actual wakeboard. Noun, cheerleader. Adjective, cold. Wakeboard, cheerleader, cold.
Okay. All right, so for you, I have verb, kneeling.
Okay.
Noun, King Tut. And adjective, disgusting.
Okay.
And you can actually probably morph that into the other one too.
Just roll it all into one movie.
Yeah. So I'm gonna come up with one for the
archaeologist who discovers King Tut's pussy.
And now let's choose actors for one another.
Oh, so I choose for you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I choose Dan DeVito for yours.
Oh my gosh, is your goal just to make this impossibly hard? Okay. So for you, I'm gonna choose. Oh, see this. Oh man, nobody knows who she is though. Do you know who Kristen Shaw is?
I have a Google in front of me.
Okay, well, Google her. She's like one of those faces you'd recognize, and her voice is like the most obnoxious thing in the entire world. She was in that show, Last Man Standing.
Kristen Shaw?
Shaw. It's like SCHAAL. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, you know that girl?
Yeah,
Everybody at home right now, Google Kristen Shaw, and I want her to be the main character of the cheerleader wakeboarding cold.
Okay. So we're not gonna take a break yet. What's the next topic we got? And then
well, basically after this, I mean, this was kind of the thing that's supposed to take segment 3 here, Dick. But we got to give away the tickets, and then we can talk. I mean, yeah.
Well, you know what we should? Let's just take an extended break. How about that? We're
okay.
gonna take an extended break. When we come back, we'll come out with both of our movies.
All right, cool.
So we're gonna take about a 4-minute break. So folks, please stick around when we come back. I already got an idea. You're listening to the Ticket Stub podcast here on Lone Star Community Radio. We'll be back. Extended break, remember, so we'll be back a little bit longer. Cool. Bye.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Hey, Montgomery County, it's me, C.C. Holmes. And I would personally like to take this time to invite you, that's right, you, to join me every Saturday and Sunday from 3 until 7 p.m., where I will bring you the very best of smooth jazz, classic jazz, and indeed, yes, the soulful sounds of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So come along and get jazzy with me. That's right, jazzy. Right here, of course, on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
All right, we're back from extended break. We're going to do this fast. We got to get better at managing our time.
If anything, we should just do one and then we'll do the next one for the next show. How about
Okay.
that? I like my first one, though, what you gave me. I'm going to go first.
All right, we'll get right back into it.
Welcome back to the welcome back to the Ticket Stub. So we're playing a game, verb, noun, adjective. So he told me he gave me a verb, a noun, and an adjective, and I had to come up with a movie. Okay.
Okay.
So
What you got?
my main actor is Secondhand Lion, Haley Joel Osment.
Okay.
And the verb was rain, noun was ventrilo, and the adjective was red. So my movie's titled Secondhand Throw.
Okay.
Okay, it takes place in Seattle, so it's always raining throughout the whole movie. Our main character, John, is colorblind. He can't see red or green. His father was a ventriloquist, and growing up, his father tragically died while not paying attention because he was playing in the car showing his son that the dummy can drive.
Oh.
So, boom, wasn't paying attention.
Don't ventriloquist and drive, guys.
Exactly. Well, the last thing John hears as his dad slowly dies next to him in the car is his voice. He's still playing as the puppet.
Oh, he's throwing his voice into the puppet as he dies?
Throwing the voice into the puppet, telling John it's going to be okay.
Your daddy's okay.
Yeah, so basically that. So the third person. So what happens from that traumatic event, John develops a severe issue of psychosis, and he thinks the puppet's real in his entire life. So now the story continues as John tries to go through growing up with this puppet over in his dreams. So think of Jigsaw in every scene, but it's not Jigsaw, it's the puppet.
Oh.
And
so it's like a horror movie?
No, it's supposed to be a comedy.
Oh, it's a sweet, lighthearted, like a dark comedy or like just a straight up comedy?
Yes.
Super dark.
And I haven't figured out the ending yet, but that's the movie. So think of it as like Ted, but with a made up puppet.
So wait, does he literally carry the puppet around?
No, he just sees it.
He just sees the
and
puppet.
so the
It's kind of like that show Wilfred with
exactly. But my idea is you take the stop motion kind of a Lego movie.
Yeah.
That's how you make the puppet move.
Oh,
so you got
okay.
this Pinocchio style of like weird moving as the puppet moves throughout his life, and so you can kind of make it look cool. So I like that secondhand throw, and it's coming soon.
All right, well, here's what I've got. Kneeling King Tut, disgusting, with my actor Danny DeVito. So I chose the second one here. So here's what I got. Danny DeVito is an NFL coach.
Perfect.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, this is topical. This is very on the nose for right now. NFL coach who gets his players, he convinces his whole team to kneel for the national anthem. He is branded as disgusting by their conservative fan base.
Is this a faith-based movie?
No, not faith-based.
Oh, man.
No, unfortunately not. No, because he is anti, or he's super protest. He gets everybody to kneel. Conservative fan base of his conservative, his Southern football team get him fired. So he has to take a job with the Arena League with the Las Vegas King Tuts. All right, the Las Vegas King Tuts, and he works his way back to the NFL. Towards the end of the season, he gets his job back on his old team for the final game. They have 0 wins, and he faces off against the coach that led the charge to get him fired. And after the game, he takes a knee. Wow.
You know, I really thought you were going.
What?
I thought at the end of the movie, everyone asked, "Why did you do this?" And he goes, "I wanted to see everyone on my level."
Oh, because he's so short.
Yeah, that's
that could be the tagline. Get on a knee and get on his level. All right, grand ticket giveaway. Wes Smith, you won with it responding. Everybody check out our Twitter and our Facebook to see how you can win tickets for the next week. Good job, Wes. Next week, we'll be back with more games, more movies, more rewinding, more movie talk. Everybody, stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Thanks for checking out this podcast of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. If you enjoyed this recording, make sure to check out our past shows online at irlonestar.com or their respective video or podcast formats on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. If you have any questions regarding the show, either it being about sponsorships or questions for the host, contact the station manager at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-3776. This show was recorded in downtown Conroe, Texas at the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, and Lone Star Community Radio reserves all rights to this recording and images.